So if we could start by either closing our eyes or turning our gaze inward. And simply be, meaning the effortless welcoming, which is not a personal welcoming, it's simply a recognition that at the very source of our being, everything is welcomed. That we are the entire realm, the flow, this precious sensitivity, this delicate and yet so magnificent presence. Which is everything in all of us as one. Notice the peace, the effortless, silent stillness of being, which shines as I and shines as everything we perceive, we conceive. As the totality, the non-dual reality of consciousness that's manifesting as infinite worlds and minds. There's just intimacy, love, and beauty. Because there are no parts, no separate parts to our being. There are no separate parts in our experience. Which is I am thou and thou is myself. Although at some level the body-mind differ like various waves on the surface of the ocean. Our reality, our substance, that which we are, is indivisible, indistinguishable. There are no distinctions in love and in peace and happiness. Love shines through us onto the world, onto the mind, enlightening it with God's light, God's truth, which is whispered to us in so many ways. In a grain of sand, or the way the sun shines through the window, through the way our children play and appear, and the way the sensations within the body appear to us. God's touch is everywhere. In this totality and as this totality, there is no disease, there is no dis-ease. Like in the ocean, the ocean is not affected by whatever currents arise within it, out of it, its own creation, its own manifestation, its own play, its own creativity. There's no good or bad that happens to the ocean, irrespective of whether the ocean is full of waves or waveless. It's the same. So at the core of your being, there is this absolute knowingness of being, of presence, of seamless awareness, which is the reality that hears these words, that perceives all perceptions equally. Healing refers to freedom from ignorance, freedom from the belief that you are a limited body, mind, somebody that can be affected by circumstances and by events. This belief that somehow keeps us in a crouched position, concerned, and worried, and hoping for a better tomorrow, and gets in the way of the celebration of being, the exquisite manifestation of being in this moment, the freedom, the joy, the innocence and the purity are veiled and hidden, obscured by the belief that the belief in personal vulnerability, imagining that I am a person and therefore a vulnerable element. And so we are already infected by the malaise of separation, the inner anguish, and through this anguish we perceive right and wrong, project the evil out there, good and bad. And we hope that certain steps we may take, certain actions we may take, certain medicines we may take will heal us. The true healing is available to us via the understanding that I don't exist in time and space. But I, this transparent, aware presence, is not a male or female or that this aware presence is undeniable. In everything that I perceive, conceive, refers to my reality, the reality of consciousness, not the reality of my personal mind, but the reality of the formless aware presence that right now hears these words. So, in this moment, can you be completely free from the past? Because presence is not segmented in past, present, and future. in presence and as presence. There is no resistance. Nor is there any seeking. The mind comes to rest in and as presence. The body is boundless. Love is abundant. Okay. So if you have any questions, anything that you would like to explore, please make sure you unmute your mic, and you're welcome to turn on your video if you like to or not. So any questions?
Hello, Magdi.
Holly, hello, Holly.
Hello.
Hey.
Nice sweater, we match.
Yes.
So I noticed that one thing that comes up for me is this idea of hard work, and that I need to work hard, both with respect to my job and also with respect to my practice, and that if I'm not doing those things, I feel judgment. So I would like to have more faith and courage in a natural flow, like being more tuned into, what I'm actually supposed to be doing, instead of being so kind of pushy with my time and my effort and my attention. But there's that kind of conditioned tension between, am I just being lazy? Am I, this or that?
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. So the main thing about life is peace and happiness. And in terms of working hard, if you are happy, there is no time. You could, like a musician who loves music, loves to play the guitar, may spend hours. On one hand, it may seem, oh my God, he's working so hard, but from their perspective, there is really no time. Time flies when you're having fun. So the main thing is happiness. When you are working, whether you're working hard or not hard, and there is a personal concern about what's going to happen if I don't, that when my peace, my inner peace and my happiness is dependent on anything outside of me, we are in the wrong model. We are moving in the wrong direction. So the main thing is to explore living out of the freedom, out of the inner peace, out of the joy, out of the sense of play, out of the sense of creativity, and out of also the practical aspect of life, how things present themselves to us. So behind the scene is what's important, much more than what we are doing, what the body mind is doing. Behind the scene meaning what are our ideas, our feelings, our beliefs, our concerns that always relate to, not always, but most often they relate to the personal identity. Because there could be practical concerns, you may have a deadline and the client wants a product by a certain time. So you are working really hard trying to make the jewelry and the rings or whatever in the right time. And so there may be, practical concerns, but it's different from psychological concerns. You would be surprised when you are dealing with practical concerns, even you're working hard and so on, and you don't meet the deadline. Life surprises you. Because when you are operating from this place of peace and harmony and good intention, your intention is, of course, to do your best. There are constraints, in life. You would be surprised about how life comes to respond to you in a way that is surprising and is harmonious.
Right.
So in terms of trust, we trust love, beauty, freedom, honor, respect, integrity, fairness, goodwill. These are things we respect. This is what we trust. And when our trust is placed in that way, rather than being in the thoughts, oh my God, what's gonna happen? Will I lose this client? Will they, if I don't provide the jewelry in a timely fashion, will they cancel or whatever? Rather than coming from this place where we are putting our trust in thoughts, in unhappy thoughts, you see, we put our trust in the happiness. Happiness is, hey, it's a client that wants me to create some of my products for them. This is the time frame, and I think that, okay, it's reasonable. I tell the client, okay, look, I'm going to do my best, you see. Maybe I'm digressing, but the thing about working hard we may have some conditioning to sort of like we get our teeth into it and we don't let it go, wherever it came from, who cares? We may have that conditioning. And but we also have the wisdom. The wisdom is always about peace and happiness for all. And the more we live from our wisdom, which is not personal wisdom, it's wisdom we all know about love and beauty. And the more we live out of the wisdom, the more harmonious and serendipitous life presents to itself to us. Not as we are thinking it, not as per our design. We'd be surprised. We don't know. It's a magical aspect to life. When we put our hand in God's hand, there is a magical aspect to life, you see. So the worries and the concern and this drive, we inherited, and we inherit the sense of me, that I am holy, I am Magdi, I am this person, I have to be good, I have to succeed, whatever, the scenario, or whatever scenario the conditioning is. These conditionings are just layers onto they're unnecessary for the functioning of life. For life to function through us, it's unnecessary to have those images. In a way, they inhibit us from, they block our energy. So when this arises for you, this, so at that moment, you have an opportunity to make a new, to meet it in a new way. So you are meeting yourself, obviously, whatever is arising within you. So you are meeting yourself in a new way, which is not a battling, not a battle within yourself, but a meeting where there is a welcoming, a recognition that, okay, this model, this aspect of myself is the aspect that is separate from the whole. There is a recognition, a welcoming and a recognition, but not a battle, not a war. rather that it's okay. It's okay. That this is sort of the human condition, one could say, or the current weather, the current weather. Like all weather, it's a flux. And I recognize the condition. I recognize the condition. I recognize this manifestation within this body-mind. And that which recognizes it is free from it. It's not trying to be free or anything like that. It's inherently free. And it is inherently my true being, what I truly am. And that, once we become, let's say, more sensitive to presence, to awareness, we realize that that is never be taken away or diminished or augmented. It's always there as this effortless embrace of everything that has no can't hold or grasp anything, because it's complete. Everything is it. It's just like the wind. It carries the butterfly, it carries the leaf, it carries the bird. It over the surface of the pond, it's like that. And that's our true nature. That's what is really real in our experience. That which is unchanging and changeless and absolute in our experience is that transparency, that presence, that effortless awareness that does not belong to a particular body-mind, no matter how great this body-mind is. It doesn't belong to a body-mind. One could say the body-mind is one of the ways in which it manifests. So yeah, so you invite yourself to this new way, fresh way in meeting yourself as presence. No judgment, no judgment, no past, no, just a piece of being. Sometimes we have deadline and we're working our butt off. Okay, we do what we can. It all works out. There's nothing that's more touching to people than the love, and the love that you put in your work, that is expressed in your life, touches everyone's heart. Without it, it would be a really sad state of affairs. And sometimes it is.
Thank you.
Okay, honey. Any questions?
Hi, Magdi.
Hello, Richard.
How are you?
Okay.
Good. I just was wondering if maybe you could say a little bit just on, I guess, the topic of today's talk. I know that we don't always follow the topic, but it was on healing and the sense of separation. I was just wondering if you could say just more about healing. Who I know it's not really the separate self maybe that heals, or maybe it is. But I guess when I was out walking today before this, I was thinking, who is healed? Because sometimes I definitely feel that I do want to heal and become. And when I think healing, I think about becoming more whole, and that means more whole with, in satsang and the love that I feel for others. Can maybe you talk just more about healing and who is healed and how we heal?
Yes.
Thank you.
From the perspective of truth, of reality, of that which is absolute, there are no separate parts. There is nothing that is, in fact, happening outside of being awareness, outside of Satchitananda, outside of the peace of being, the joy of being. There are no material realms that have a reality to them. But from the perspective of the sense of separation, I am the body-mind, and I am subject to all sorts of negative events. But in fact, I am not the body-mind. The body-mind is my own projection. Body-minds are my own projection. And the entire realm of manifestation is my own projection. So in the realm of my projection, a dog can bite me, or I can catch a virus, or I can fall under a certain spell or certain sickness. That is from the perspective of being a body-mind and the perspective of disease. But that perspective, what is its reality? Is there actually a personal self? Am I actually a body-mind that is subject to disease and to healing? When I look at this question about what am I, am I in the body-mind? I look. And when I look, looking for the body, I don't find a body. I find, for example, one could say sensation. The sensation of my feet on the ground, the sensation of my back against the chair. But when I go to the sensation to find the body, I only find awareness. When I go to the sensation of my feet on the ground, I don't find feet and I don't find ground. I find awareness. Awareness finds itself. No object. When I go to my mind, I go to thoughts, memories, images. I find that I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here. Right here, unmoved. Looking, perceiving this thought. And as I'm perceiving the thought is gone. What remains? What is the thought? What is the thought? Every moment I look. Because I want to find that mind. I don't find the mind. I don't even find a thought. I find the thought of a thought, and the thought of a thought, even that I don't find. But I always find awareness, presence, the reality that perceives whatever it is. So from the perspective of that which is real, there is no other. There is no virus. There is no sickness or disease or healing. You don't find it. You don't find it. You only find disease when you go to the sense of separation, the belief that I am a body-mind and that there are body-minds. Because the belief that I am a body-mind goes hand in hand with there are body-minds. As soon as I put on these purple shaded glasses, everywhere I perceive purple color. As soon as I adopt the model that I am the body-mind, in that instant are born the infinite forms, the infinite namarupas, names and forms. But the reality is similar to all that which appears in my night dreams and all the incidents, accidents, successes and failures that happen to the characters in my night dream. What is the reality? The healing speaking, relatively speaking, is in the dream, realizing the dream. And as you realize the dream, you are no longer in the dream is in you. That is a true significance of healing. It's a
Healing is waking. Healing is becoming awake. It's metaphorically.
Yes. Yes. Healing is awakening from the spell, from the hypnotic spell of being an object in time and space. But from the perspective of the dream character who is still deeply in the dream, their reality is different. They experience sickness and healing in the relative endless cycle of birth and death and being under the field, the magnetic, the power field of manifestation.
Thank you, Magdi. That helps me to understand what I think you meant. I appreciate that.
Cheers. Any questions?
Magdi, maybe just something kind of funny. Well, maybe people are thinking there have been more than a few times you've said something that was very pertinent to something I was thinking or doing, and just now when you were saying, in from the perspective of the body mind, a dog might bite you. I was at that moment worried that my wife's dog might bite me because he was right here and he's a scared dog and he's bitten me before, and he walked up. And right as you were said that, I was looking over at him like, oh, I hope he doesn't try to do anything funny. So it's very interesting. And he did not bite me. I was fine.
Mm. Hello, Holger.
Hello, Magdi. It just popped into my mind. What about the idea of feeling sorry for other people?
Yeah. Feeling sorry about other people is not respectful. It's not loving. It's in a way condescending. It's some sense of superiority about such feelings. In love, there is no such thing as feeling sorry for somebody else. You do what you can do and what you are called to do, what resonates within your heart to do in the world, in your relationships and in your life. Then there may be a lot of actions that are loving and caring and generous and kind, but not when there is a sense of of pity or feeling sorry for somebody else. When you're feeling sorry for somebody else, you are buying into ignorance. You are buying into the notion that happiness is phenomenal. Happiness is not phenomenal. But this does not mean that you would not be very kind and generous to somebody who you perceive to be having some challenges in their life. And when we are modest and with gratitude and with the humility of humility, which is not the ego, not the ego. We feel the love and the caring and the empathy. And also in feeling sorry for somebody, you are not recognizing God's doing. Because if you look in your life, you find that there has been, in most people's lives, a lot of very difficult situations and times and so on. But they had their place, they had their learning, they had their function. Maybe we didn't get it right away. Maybe it took a while for us to understand, or maybe we haven't understood yet. It doesn't matter. But it's part of the peg. It's part of our unfolding. And we are where we are now as a result of all of it. Nothing that can be removed or added, for that matter. So in love, we don't feel sorry. We are available if we can. Somebody may knock at the door, or something within you may knock on your door and say, oh yeah, I'd like to do this for this person, But there is a recognition that everything is in order. Everything is just where it needs to be, as it needs to be. And it is in many of the difficult times that we have, that arise for us, there is opportunity for us to sort of see something, understand something. You most means when you cook them, you put them on the fire, There is this meal, it's called fulam dammas. It's the fava beans is an Egyptian dish that's very, very popular because the fava beans, they grow in the Nile Delta. They're not expensive. They're very easy to grow. These beans, they take a whole night to soak them, and then you have to cook them for 6 or 7 hours to cook. It's delicious with a little olive oil and lemon juice and anyways. They eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The popular meal. It's like dal in India, maybe, an inexpensive meal.
Thank you.
Thank you, Holger. Emmanuel arrived in time for dinner. Hola, Emmanuel. Tu tengo hambre, hambre, hambre.
No.
No.
I'm full.
Ah, Brian is hungry. Okay, Brian. So, any questions? Yes, Holger.
Another thing comes to mind. Just sometimes when I feel very happy, or then I have the feeling, oh, I'm ready to die. Oh, I have the feeling, oh, I could die right now and everything would be fine. And then I sometimes wonder if there's something wrong with me that I have such a thought.
No, I don't think so. The body is just a temporary. I mean, this whole human manifestation, just a temporary passage. So, no, at some point, our attachments to this realm, they sort of fade away. It's like, it's okay. No, nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, what's so precious about this dimension? It's consciousness. It's consciousness. Consciousness doesn't die. So yeah, we actually in old age, when the body sort of becomes more and more difficult to work with, we say, okay, it's good enough. So then we let it go. But love never dies. Yeah.
Another thing, I don't know how to say this, I observed in myself and in others, what's the word? The reason, the identity behind actions and I mean, there's always this wanting to get something out of it. Like the identity is the word. Like that everything that is being said or done or explained or justified is always just to to create this fictitious me, to make it stronger and to give it a sense and a justification and to explain it and to it's just so fascinating to see the freedom of being aware of this because it's so subtle, but it seems to be everywhere. Just interesting.
Yeah. We come to an understanding that this me that we're trying to fulfill is like a bucket that has no bottom. So it's like gobble, 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 gobbling. And it's so much effort to just maintain this gobbler. And it's such a relief to sort of be unknowing, be sort of discovered moment by moment, this creation, this creativity in this moment that doesn't refer to any accumulation or any figuring anything out. It doesn't refer to that. It's just the sun shining on the surface of the pond. It's so beautiful and effortless. And it nourishes the algae and the fish and reflects, oxygenates the water, whatever it. It's also dynamic.
I just realized how many harsh judgments. I mean, in what an atmosphere of harsh judgments I grew up.
Mm.
I mean, so many, just amazing. And yeah, what a mess. What a amazing creation, and what a total mess at the same time.
Yeah. Somehow that's how it is, and in a way we learn. It's part of our path towards the light,
But then how fascinating that there is always this harmony. I mean, this pristine presence is always there.
Yes.
It's just overlooked.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
Thank you, Magdi.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. Mm-hmm. Any questions?
Hi, Magdi.
Hey, Frank. Hello, Frank. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, no, it's not Frank. It's Brian. Hello, Brian. Is it Brian? Yes.
Yeah, Magdi, it's me.
Hello, Brian. I didn't have my glasses on.
Nice to see you. Or
Nice to see you too.
yeah,
Beautiful.
nice to see
Very
you.
nice.
Hello, guys.
Yes, wonderful.
Be here.
Yes.
Magdi, I have a brief question. Something that been around my head some weeks ago. Maybe the question is, are sacrifice real, or are they part of or manifestation of my anxiety towards future or
You said sacrifice?
sacrifice? Yeah.
Yes. What do you mean by the sacrifice? Can you say something?
Yeah. Like in this body and mind, and in this understanding of the time, I can understand that if I do things like helping myself, helping people, helping my community, or
Yes.
doing things that are not maybe oriented toward just myself or something like that,
Yes.
I can understand that in the future, maybe things will be in a way that will have better lessons for a life of people or a life of itself. So
I understand. Yes.
But there is a definition of what is real and what potentially can be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that without time, that's just a beautiful painting of reality. But I don't know if there is also something like a negative emotion or something like anxiety leading my advance, like I'm not sure where the need of sacrificing comes, because I mean, there shouldn't be no sacrifice. If I don't know, that's my question.
Yes. Right.
Thank you, Magdi. Thank you for this space.
Sure, it's beautiful to be here together. Yes. So, in our experience, Brian, there are thoughts that appear to us, and they vary.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts that appear to us, not only they vary from moment to moment or from day to day, but over the years they vary.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes there is a stream of thought about doing this, and some year later or a few months later, it's a different stream of thought. It changes. Like the weather, it changes. Some thoughts come back again, and they come back. It's like, oh, a rerun. And these thoughts, they saying something. They're saying something about the world, something about yourself, something about your family, something about the politics, whatever. They're a narrative. But they're constantly changing. So if you take your life and you say, okay, well, I'm going to follow these thoughts, So I'm following these thoughts today, and tomorrow this, and then that, and then this, and that, and then this, and that, and then this, and that, and this, and that. And then I'm 85 years old, and I can no longer Alzheimer. Who are you? I don't know. Who are you?
Thanks for the advice.
No, imagine that's what's happening here. Yeah. Times 7 billion. It's a zoo, right? So what they say, Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
Sodom and Gomorrah. It's like, wow, what a crazy rap. So, but there is one thing which, in our experience, irrespective of what thought is appearing, is one thing which is constant. And that which is constant is whatever it is right now that hears these words. Whatever it is, that hears these words, is that same that heard this morning the rooster, when the rooster went, go, it's that same reality that heard the rooster is that which is hearing these words right now. That is completely overlooked by thought, because thought does not perceive. Thought is perceived. I perceive the thought, but the thought doesn't perceive. So thought is completely oblivious to consciousness awareness. From the perspective of thought, awareness is just a concept. It's not a reality. It's just a concept. Oh yeah, awareness. Oh yeah, nice. But a concept. But from the perspective of the reality of our experience, because it is right now you're hearing these words. Mm-hmm. I am hearing these words from the perspective of the reality, meaning from the perspective of consciousness. Consciousness is the reality, is the absolute. So, in your question about sacrifice, usually there are thoughts that appear to us and they tell us, you know, do this, do that, sacrifice this, don't sacrifice that, whatever. They appear to us. So we'll follow those thoughts. We say, okay, am I following the right thoughts? No, don't follow these thoughts, follow those thoughts. Oh, okay. And then, oh, are you sure I'm following those thoughts? Well, yeah, you follow them long enough now. Follow these thoughts. Oh, okay. No, follow these thoughts. How are you doing? I don't know. Oh, well, continue a little longer. And now how are you doing? It's getting worse. Oh, okay, then follow those thoughts. No. So we say, okay, why do we rely our life? Why do we guide our life? By that which is constantly shifting. Thought, a feeling, an emotion, a memory, I like this, I don't like that. And why do we, when we go crossing in the ocean, in the old days, we look at the sky and the star I forgot the name of that star, that we follow that. It guides us because it's not moving. So in our life, if you look in our life, we are following thoughts and emotions, and we are completely overlooking consciousness, awareness. Now, in terms of sacrifice or action or behavior, there is a saying in the Christian scriptures that says, "Thy will be done." Thy will be done. You're familiar with that? Thy will be done. How would you say it? God's will be done. So I follow thy will be done. Thy will be done, meaning whatever is manifesting is thy will. It is not my personal will. It is the will of the non-dual cosmic impersonal realm. So like the weather is interconnected with the whole cosmos. The local weather is interconnected with the whole cosmos, with the magnetic field of the Earth, with the magnetic field of our galaxy, its interconnection with other galaxies, etc. So in that way, all what is unfolding has in it God's touch or the universal touch. And what is available to me is to recognize within myself God's touch. How do I recognize God's touch? What direction do I follow? It's very simple. You follow the direction of love, peace, happiness, freedom, honor, and fairness for everyone. You follow the path of beauty, wisdom, intelligence, and love. That includes everyone. Now, this, you do not do that for your own personal good. No, you do not do that for your own personal good, because if you're doing that for your own personal good, you're separating yourself. You are saying me and you out there. No. You do that because you recognize that love is universal, that love is real. You do that because you recognize that beauty and intelligence and honor and respect and empathy and sympathy and fairness they are divine qualities. They're not about my gain, about I will do good and when I die then Jesus or God or whatever is going to put me on the right side and I'm not on the left side. No. It is living the love, living the joy, living the freedom, living the intelligence, living the wisdom. And what helps us is to understand that the light that shines through Brian's mind is the same light that shines through all minds. The light that shines through the reality that perceives, that which hears, is universal. It's not personal. The instrument, the body mind, which mom and dad call Brian or mom and dad call Magdi, that instrument is a specific instrument. But that which perceives via this instrument is universal, is consciousness. That which hears these words is neither male nor female. That which hears these words is not named Brian. That which hears these words has no name. It is real, it is absolute, it has no name. It is the reality of consciousness, the universal reality. So, in terms of sacrifice, the best advice that I can think of is be watchful that you do not make this consciousness, which you are, this awareness that you are, be watchful not to make it personal. Meaning, come to the understanding that I does not refer to Brian, but that I refers to consciousness. And live from that understanding. So the direction is to turn your attention to the source. What am I truly? What is it that truly perceives? And you will find that that which truly perceives has no name and no age. It is undeniable. Yes, I perceive, but I don't know what that is. Yes, I am, but I do not know what I am. And remain with that and live from that. Your volume is turned off, I think, Brian. Your volume is yes. Yes.
The human mind probably won't be able to approach the truth. You know, it's, thank you, Magdi. Thank you.
Yeah, Brian, you know, the I is the truth.
Mhm.
Not I, Magdi, not I, Brian. I, consciousness, is the truth. Already there. It's already there. You have never been anything else but this transparent awareness. Never. You've never been an object. You've never been a male body or a person, or you've never ceased to be this transparent aware presence. That is your reality. That is the reality of consciousness. It's absolute. This is our reality. The reality of everything is this I awareness, I presence. Yes. So look in that direction.
Thank you, Magdi.
Okay, Brian, nice to see you. Any questions?
Yes, hello, Magdi.
Hello, Umer.
Okay, so Magdi, your experiment to actually see boredom as a neutral event in time and space, and to try to develop that understanding by being aware as awareness and not be aware as Omer, be aware as that which perceives, seems to be working, I think. I mean, today was the first time I tried it, the whole time in tandem, the whole day. Even when I had the accident, I was like unfazed. 3 people were lifting the bike off me, and I didn't even skip a heartbeat. I was not even identified with what would have been otherwise. So I was, the entire day, I was doing my best to, uh, what do you say, perceive as that which perceives, perceive as awareness. Look from the vantage point of awareness, be awareness, live as awareness.
Yes.
And I saw that even if there were horrendous moments of boredom and painful boredom, they didn't affect me. By me, I mean I awareness personally as much as they would have affected me as Umar, right? So I think it's your experiment is working, but we are still at the same level of inquiry as we were last time we talked personally, that there are 2 realities. There is an Umar, and then there is that which perceive, which is awareness, and there can be 2 realities. There can be only one.
Yeah, there is the reality of awareness, and there is also Umer. Umer as an appearance, meaning Umer as the realm of sensations and perceptions and thoughts and memories, that also exists. Like in your night dream, you have your mind, the dreamer's mind is also it exists. So we are not denying Umar. There is consciousness and there is Umar. But the main thing to comprehend is that the reality of Umar is consciousness. The reality of your night dreams, everything that appears in your night dreams, is the dreamer. This does not mean that there are 2 realities. No, this means that there is one reality, consciousness, and it dreams the night mind, and it colors itself, one could say, or dances as world body minds.
I mean, as long as I awareness can see that there is no personal doer, that is fine with me.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
As long as one doesn't identify with the doer.
Absolutely. Because the doer, that the doer arises to you awareness, it arises as a thought and as a feeling. So a thought is an appearance, a neutral appearance, and a feeling or a sensation is also a neutral appearance. So yes, the fact that there is an appearance of a doer, whether it's appearing as a thought or a thought and a sensation, does not mean that this appearance is saying a reality, saying, okay, here it is, I am a pink flying elephant. Even if you perceive in your night dreams a unicorn, okay, it does not lead you to the conclusion that there is a reality to a unicorn. Yes.
Because even as of right now, I am perceiving everything as that which perceives.
Yes.
Right? Yet still there is identification with the doer, and that is wrong understanding.
Well, what is it that perceives this moment, Umar? What is it that's hearing these words right now?
Awareness.
I awareness, yes. So what is the identification? There is no identification. It's just a noticing that yes, there is something that hears these words, which we refer to as I. I hear these words, period. What am I? I don't know. Is there any doubt that I'm hearing these words? Zero doubt. Do the words define me? Not at all. Does what Umar say define me? Not at all. Does what Magdi says define me? Not at all. Does the color of this room define me? Not at all. If the lights are out or if the lights are on, do I change? Not at all. Not at all.
Okay, so, right, then, Dr. Daring, he says, no self is actually realized, not self as awareness, but literally no self at all. And then there is just what is, which is being observed, and that's it. Often nothing is being observed, so nothing is happening. And that is it, and that is all. That is what we are after, right? Not even awareness, not even a self at all. That is like the final understanding.
I would not say that. I don't speak like that. I don't.
Would you? Yeah, but would you not say that there is no self?
I don't say that there is nothing, there is no self and nothing. No. Obviously, there is the reality of awareness, the reality of I. And this reality is absolute. There is no doubt about that. Who would say it's not? What would say, no, I am not?
Not a personal self.
I'm sorry?
Not a personal self.
No,
I mean, there is no personal.
I'm not talking about the personal self. We already said the personal self is an appearance. It appears as thoughts and images and beliefs. No, I'm talking about I awareness. The reality of being, the reality of the world, body, mind. I cannot deny I. What would deny I? So I do not speak like there is nothing that exists and no self and yes, there is no separate self. I am not a dream character. I perceive sensations, perceptions, and thoughts and images and memories and sounds. I am the reality of that which I perceive. Why? Because all that which I perceive keeps changing, and I don't, first. Secondly, everything that appears to me, everything I perceive it intimately at zero distance. I'm not perceiving a thought out there or a perception out there or a light out there or a door out there or a chair out there. No, I'm perceiving my perception at zero distance from the perceiver. This is why I say I am the reality of all worlds, body, minds. I meaning consciousness. I'm not talking about the personal mind. No, I'm talking about universal consciousness. And that can be verified in your experience if you conduct the right experiments. If you investigate the right way, you will come to that clarity. And this clarity will, at some point, be your own understanding beyond any doubt.
Right, because I perceive that everything appears in awareness, and even Umar. Yet I cannot perceive that Umar is the illusory separate self. The only thing I can say is that Umar appears in awareness.
Yes.
But I cannot say that Umar is the illusory separate self.
Don't say that. You don't have to say that. It's good enough that you say Umar appears in awareness. Okay, that's good enough. That sounds good to me. Thought,
Yeah, but that's not
image of Magdi or memories about Magdi or images about Magdi appear in awareness. Yes, that's good enough.
right. But then then again, we have to see separate the truth from the false. Like we have to see that Umar is just
It's not
an illusory separate self.
No, Umar is an appearance. Umar meaning
An appearance that
this thought, the sensation, because don't forget that. Okay, we're using the name Umar. Let's be more specific. Why be so general, Umar? Let's say a sensation of my feet on the ground appears in awareness. So there isn't like a real or an unreal. It's not there's a real or unreal. There is that which appears, and there is the reality which perceives. There is that which appears and disappears, appears and disappears. Yeah. And there is that which perceives, that which is, that which does not appear or disappear. Clear?
How is that supposed to help anybody? I mean, look, if you say that which appears in awareness is just that which appears and doesn't have anything to do with being real or false, then how does that help people? Like when they say I'm suffering from depression and suffering from this and that, do you go and say to them, okay, look, that just appears in your awareness?
First, we're not talking about suffering from depression. We can go into that. You're making a big jump here. What I'm saying is that there is the reality of awareness that is undeniable. And this is what we refer to as I.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay. Then there are appearances. There are perceptions, sensations, and thoughts. And these perceptions, sensations, and thoughts are a flow, let's say. They appear to that which does not appear. They appear to I awareness. And they appear at zero distance from I awareness. Their reality, therefore, is because they're appearing, so they have a reality. Their reality is not within themselves because next second they're gone. Their reality is in that which does not come and go, which is I, that which perceives them and perceives them at zero distance. How does that help you was the question. It helps you whenever you believe yourself to be a limited mortal body-mind. You will experience worry, anxiety, depression, fear, boredom, loneliness, jealousy, anger, etc. It is because of the belief that you exist in time and space, that you are an object in a bubble, that you're existing in a bubble, that you are experiencing the sense of separation. And when you experience the sense of separation, your entire life is projecting that sense of separation. And that is pretty miserable. So what I'm talking about is the freedom from misery, the freedom from unnecessary misery. And the path to this freedom is in the understanding beyond any doubt that I is the only reality, which is the reality of consciousness, and that this consciousness is not personal and limited, does not depend on body-mind, and is therefore universal.
So you're saying you do not deny the sensations, the bodily sensations. You just say that,
of course not.
That they appear in awareness, but you just don't believe in them.
What's the sense of if you deny sensations, you're going to walk into the fire and you're going to burn your body. No, we're not. No, I never hinted at something like that.
So your method of inquiry is to rather break the belief in the old model that we are limited.
You have to see the falsehood of this belief. If it is true, then don't break it. Why do you want to break something that's true? You have to investigate the belief that awareness depends on the body-mind. There is no evidence for that. I know there is the belief, I know there is a feeling, well, I feel this way, fine, you can feel any way you want, but there is no evidence that substantiates this belief. So you have to do your own investigation. It's not about breaking anything, it's about understanding. And in order to understand, you have to do your own investigation. Does awareness, I, the reality that perceive, am I dependent and limited and defined by that which I perceive?
Of course not. This is simple. But the next part is hard, where you have to reconcile the two false realities, as we already discussed.
You know, false reality is an oxymoron. There is a false reality. What would be a false reality? There is no such a thing as a false reality. There is a reality and there is illusion or belief. Okay, well, very lovely to be with you all. Thank you, Umer, and Diane, and Frank, Holly, Naomi.
Thank you, Magdi.
Yes. Brian, hola, Brian, Emmanuel, and Holger. Hello, Marga and John. Thank you all.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank you.